Welcome to a very special edition of In Good Company with Jay McCauley and Esther Garnick.
And her drink.
We are here. Okay, anyone who knows me and Esther knows where we are.
Yeah.
We're on the patio of the Hazleton Hotel, one restaurant. Big shout out to Jess Rodriguez. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Because she hooked us up. We said
Wayne's World of us.
This is my 10th episode of the podcast.
Oh my
10th anniversary. And it's the 10-year anniversary of Esther and I being in a monogamous relationship.
Surprise.
Of our working and lovers squared relationship. But yeah, it actually is true.
10 years.
10 years. 2016 is when I met you.
Oh my gosh.
So thank you so much to Jess Rodriguez, because we said to her, we need to switch it up and come to our favorite restaurant in the city.
Yeah.
And she was like, no problem. We're going to take you to the private room and you're going to have a perfect podcast recording in the private room. We said, actually, why don't we take over the entire patio?
Yeah. I was like, this private room has some like dodgy lighting. I don't know about this.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Do I have any questions? No, I don't have any questions. Do I have
a really good episode.
Story about Esther or how we met? Esther and I were set up on a blind date.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, I was like 17 I'm from Vancouver, as lots of people know. The whole world knows. And
the world.
I was living in Toronto for the summer before heading back to grade 12 to close out the high school years. And I was doing an internship over the summer, and I wanted to work at the Toronto International Film Festival. What do you know? A great friend, Ainsley Kerr. Shout out Ainsley, we love you.
Yeah.
She set me up with Esther and said, you have to go and work for Esther during TIFF. And so I rolled up, and you tell the story better than I do, but all that to say is that I got the job in 2016 working for EGPR.
Yeah.
Share your recollection of that.
Okay, I will. So the year was 2016, and at the time, my business was, I had a PR agency, and one of our, I would say like cornerstone seasons was through the film festival season, because obviously in Toronto, where the company is based, or was based, I should say, the Toronto International Film Festival was a global event. And so many different brands and many different film companies and many different opportunities would arise. And so it was a very busy season for us. And one day, on like a sweltering August day, a young man appears at the door of my office in probably a wool suit. Like, I cannot even think back to that day without considering how hot and uncomfortable you must have been. But there you were. And I actually had forgotten, like someone had said to me, oh, this guy is coming. And I was like, guy, like at the time, I was like, really, the office was full of women. And I don't discriminate against men now or ever. But at the time I was like, I don't know, like what does this little man want to do with us? And you appeared, and you were wearing this woolen suit in like a 45-degree-Celsius heat wave. And you came in and you were so eager and you were so just delighted to be there that at the time I was like, I don't know what we're going to give this 16-year-old to do, but let's just give him something and see what happens. Sure enough, you show up the next day, thankfully not in a wool suit. And I say thankfully for your sake.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I was like, how do we keep you for the rest of this month? Like, I think you skipped the first month of grade 12.
I did. I skipped at least the first few weeks.
Yeah.
And that was very exciting for me. And I remember vividly being like, I think the volunteer internship was we had the Essentials Lounge, which was a celebrity gifting lounge at TIFF.
But it wasn't for celebrity, it was for media. Yeah, which was at the time, it was like a new concept.
Yeah.
Which seems so obvious to me. Like, at the time, I remember just being like, this is such an obvious low lift, but it got a lot of attention. And it also became one of our like Cornerstone events.
marquee.
Yeah,
Yeah.
marquee.
But the Essentials Lounge was like one full day.
Yeah.
Like an 8 to 8 situation
Correct.
of appointments, of media coming through and getting all the partners' products and everything.
Yeah.
And it was the day before, was big setup day. And so I had agreed, as in what I was told to do, was come in for those 2 full days. And then we also had Mongrel House, which was the like 6 or 7 day long evening party for Mongrel Media, which is a big production distribution company
Correct. Yeah.
at TIFF. And so it was work the door at Mongrel House,
which is
in the evening, which was crazy. And
why would it put a teenager
I was
on
also
that
like
door?
not legally allowed to drink. And
Well,
did I drink? Probably.
But
No.
like, well, I
also,
didn't
we're
know
not supposed to
that.
drink.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, I'm 19. No. But anyway, so that was what I had agreed to, the 2 full days and then the evenings. And then the day of the setup for Essentials Lounge done, day of the Essentials Lounge done. And at the end of the day, Esther was like, I think it was like a Monday. Esther was like, well, will you be in the office tomorrow morning? And I was like, yes.
First of all, that's so cunty of me.
No, you were like, will I see you tomorrow? And you're like, yes. And then one of our colleagues was like, oh, no. He's just doing like the nights. But at first I was like, how dare she? But then on reflection, I'm like, she was probably protecting you. Like, you cannot employ
like
this
slave
child.
labor. You cannot have
the
this
child abuse laws.
But honestly, this is the thing. And I think over our 10-year relationship, which I had not considered that was a marker of time for us, because I just feel like we've always been in each other's lives, but I also feel like no time has passed. So it still feels like that day where you arrived in that woolen suit in a heat wave.
You had also just had your second child.
Crazy.
Like months before.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. But I feel as though, to me, knowing and hearing that story for the first time really back, I'm like, oh, I knew what I was doing. I was doing something like cunty and manipulative, where I was just like, I'll see you tomorrow morning, right? Because that's my way, or that was my way probably, of saying to you, like, I know you probably need to get on with your life, but I'm not ready to let you go. If you'll come to my office tomorrow.
And I was like, yes. Come. I was like, yes,
but
please.
But a normal person, and again, this is like, reflection is one of those weird things where, and also vodka. It's like, really 10 years ago, what I probably could have said was, if this isn't in position to like your plans, feel free to say no. But I would love for you to come and just spend more time. You're such a wonderful addition to this company, or this dynamic that we have as a company. But instead, I was just like, I'll see you tomorrow, right? What's wrong with me? Oh my God. 2016, Esther, shameful.
But you know what? Thank God, because that really kicked off an amazing era that is still going.
I mean, it's going. Jay has a podcast.
Forever. J-Hap. Also known as In Good Company.
In Good Company.
Which is like the name of 800 other podcasts.
No.
Whatever.
No one cares about those podcasts.
No, they suck.
Everybody cares about In Good Company with Jay McCauley, because it's anchored by Jay McCauley. What is so flattering to me is that you would want me to come on this podcast.
So 2016, that happened, and it's now 2026, a decade later, legally.
Crazy.
And we have been through so many eras together.
Yes.
We have. So I went back to Vancouver, went to high school. Even during grade 12, Esther had a press trip out in Vancouver. I helped her on that press trip. That summer, I didn't work for you. I was in Vancouver working for another PR company. Trader. But then I moved back to Toronto, started university. And when I was in university, I was like, not vibing with this. Did I get my degree? Yes. Did I do it in 3 years? Yes. Did I work for Esther the whole time? Also, yes.
Amazing that you did that.
So impressive.
No, it is so impressive.
I actually do remember that being like very stressful, but
also you were like, people don't know this about you, but you were also working like 55 jobs in addition to. So you were like, you like got your spin instructor
That's true.
certificate.
I was a spin instructor.
And then just because everyone loves you,
we love you, Christine. and Riley.
random like restaurateurs were like, hey, want to just like bring your friends through on a some people
That
might call
is
that
kind
a
of true.
promoter.
I was like pseudo.
Am I allowed to
promoting.
say that about you on your podcast?
Totally.
Like you were
I had
really
like odd
hustling and
jobs.
grinding.
I had odd jobs.
But you were doing the most.
But
because it would have been enough for you to just like work at EGPR.
the sweet thing I will say is that I went, so in first year university, that was like a big culture shock. And I mean, I had some friends in university, but like I didn't, like they were great. Am I friends with them now? No. But what would I do? I would like roll up to EGPR and just like come through.
Yeah.
Was I working like for the first few months? No.
No, for sure. We would give you like lots of things.
We would come, we would do like projects. I was in that was when I was like full-time university, and then I transitioned into like an actual
project
consultant,
manager.
project manager. And then Esther made the decision in 2019 to move into more of a consultative direction. And it was very like smart, and you had a lot of foresight because everyone's doing that now.
How in God's name did I know? Okay, so two things just for a little bit of like a timeline consolidator. The agency is born, EGPR is born pretty much out of like sheer necessity because I started as a freelancer who was too afraid to say no to anything because I was like, we're going to turn into the Sahara Desert. And by we, I mean like me, myself, and I was like, I just need to say yes to everything. And then eventually I got consistently so busy that I started to need to hire people. And then I started to need an office space to house those people. Anyway, the agency, EGPR, basically came about very much by accident. And then at one point, it starts to feel like, okay, this is like the train has gone off the tracks. I've got two small kids at home. I've got this agency where I have all of these employees. I have a lot of, at that time, like really high profile clients that are international clients that need representation in Canada, which by all accounts is like what people strive for.
It's like the dream.
It's the dream. So at that time, I'm, quote, living a dream I didn't even know. Like I didn't like 100%
You had
ask
two
for it.
toddlers at home.
Truly. But I also just felt like, all right, this business is going in a different direction. I am maxed out in terms of what I can give on an individual attention level, like individual attention to the clients, individual attention to the employees, which to this day, I'm still in touch with the EGPR stars of yore. Like, and these girls and guys have gone on to do amazing things.
OnlyFans.
Please, excuse me. If there is an EGPR girl that is like killing it on OnlyFans.
There could be. We don't know. We'll just go with yes.
No, if that person exists, I'm not surprised because I was so lucky to hire the brightest people.
Yeah.
So all this to say, at the time where I kind of like hit my first wall in 2019, where I was just like, I've got two kids at home. This agency is by outside measure succeeding in a big way, is killing me softly. I'm going to dissolve it and I'm going to go in a more consultative direction. And I'm so glad that I was still able to kind of like outsource projects to you and work with you because I really think that it was a bold choice, particularly right before the earth collapsed on itself with the pandemic. But in another way, it was just a way for me to kind of like get a little more control of what was happening. And the best thing is that we were still able to work together in a way that was meaningful and productive. And I
learned so much from Esther. We had some amazing times together in that legally it was 2018. We had 2018 to 19.
Oh.
And then it was the pandemic. But that's just because I'm very hot on my dates.
Yeah, you are.
December 2018 was the time we had our client Parajumpers, amazing jacket brand.
Yeah.
That was like
great client.
my favorite client.
Such a long running client.
And we went
The
to Italy.
Italians, the Italians every now and then can show you a good time.
And they did for our 48 hours in Italy.
True.
So Esther had this client Parajumpers, and we decided that we needed to go to their spring summer preview.
To be fair, we didn't decide. They told us
to. And we decided to go along with it.
They were like, it's like 16 hours until Christmas. Would you like to jump on a plane, fly halfway across the world, touch down in the Dolomites, but we're not going to tell you that
you're
going
like, perfect, Hanukkah's over.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll be there. You don't have anything to do, right, Jay? So come with me, Jay. We're going to go to the Dolomites for 48 hours where, thank God, honestly, I don't think people realize, and I certainly didn't, that the Dolomites are remote enough that, like, if you put me in a dark corner 10 years ago, if you put me in a very shadowy, shady corner 10 years ago at the bottom of a mountainside, someone might think I'm Anne Hathaway. Like, it has to be really, really dark. And there has to be a lot of Prosecco being served.
The person has to be blind.
Yeah, they have to, like, have no vision in one eye. But that was a really good night for us.
That was great. And did they think we were dating? Probably.
Who's to say? But, like, I think we do have a very intimate relationship.
It sounds like we are exaggerating, but it was 48 hours. Maybe not even.
Yeah, but more importantly,
2 days and travel.
More importantly, I think that you have to really have faith in the person that's asking you to come with them on a 48-hour journey to Europe.
I was so excited.
Yeah, like, it was so fun, but I just feel like you have to, and I appreciate
my family was like,
us.
great, like, that's so awesome, great opportunity.
Okay.
They're like, well, are you going to be back for Christmas? I'm like, shut up.
Can I just have a moment for your family? The fact that, like, I have asked you to do, like, 1 or 2 inconvenient things before, like flying into the Dolomites like minutes before Saint Nick descends on your kidney is like just one occasion. And I just feel like they've always been so great and so supportive of you. And they've been so accommodating. And I think that that's a testament to just, like, they really propped you up early and kind of saw what you were doing early.
My parents did let me live by myself at like age 16 in a different city on the other side of the country.
I mean,
that was crazy. But they knew. They were like, he's gonna find an Esther.
I mean,
thank God he did.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad we found each other. I had no idea this was our 10-year anniversary.
Brought to you by the Hazelton Hotel.
Brought to you by the Hazelton Hotel. But, like, that was then. Let's talk about now.
Let's talk about now. So, what are we doing?
Yeah, let's talk about you. What are you doing?
I don't know.
You don't know.
What am I doing?
I think that's a reasonable, for the record, I think that's a reasonable answer.
That is a reasonable answer, but it isn't true. I'm consulting. I have 3 amazing anchor clients. TELUS is one of them. I worked at TELUS for 5 years. Amazing company with the best CEO in the entire world, Darren Entwistle, just the most successful Canadian business person in history and the most generous person. Him and his family are the most important part of the most important cohort of my entire life, and they are the best. So I am so happy for my 5 years at TELUS, including 2 years in London, England. I
did miss you when you were in London, England.
You didn't?
I did.
Oh.
Like, capital D-I-D did. I really missed you.
I was going to say it would make sense if you didn't, because I feel like I was here all the time. But
you were, but it also, like, the fact that I knew you were based elsewhere. But back to what you're doing now. I think it's amazing what you're doing now.
Thank you. I mean, now I'm doing my consulting work and I'm doing my podcast. So copycat alert. I copied you and said,
I don't see it that way.
I said, if Esther can do it, I surely cannot.
No.
Let's give it a try.
If I can do something, anyone can do anything.
No.
But truly, I think it's really great that you're lending your voice and sort of you're moving more authentically through, I hate that word, authentic, but like,
you know what I
you're moving very authentically through your space.
Like, talking about pivoting and changing,
yeah,
I feel like people don't talk enough about having a situation where you need to pivot or you need to change, and being like, what the fuck do I do?
Truly.
What do I do? Like, I was confronted with the opportunity. Do I want to stay at the business and work in-house full time? Or do I want to go off and do my own thing and consult? And like, no, I mean, I have so many great people that can advise me, but only you can make the decision.
Right.
Same with you. Do you want to still, own an agency and operate an agency and employ 15 people and take on that burden? Or do you want to lock it up, go consulting, do your own thing with your little
Are we not even
sidekick?
talking about like how I have completely sputtered out? Like, this is good. This is a good conversation to have. The steps are not linear. We're in COVID and people still know me as EGPR, like this PR woman. So even though at the time that I dissolved the agency, I was just like, I'm kind of done with this business. I kept getting called back into it, and I thought,
They're
okay,
like,
that's...
please assemble this mailer for
But at the time, I was like,
press.
well, this is my value. This is what people want me for. So I'm just going to like show up for that. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? I've been isolated, like working in my house for the past... How long did this go? Like, how long was it?
2 years.
2, 3. It was so long. And like, people forget, like, you're not just working and living in your house. For me, I was also like teaching my children to read in the kitchen.
Right.
Like, this was not a normal situation.
No.
And I'm already kind of like frustrated with the business that I was in. And then after a while, I'm like, okay, instead of like burning everything down in one fell swoop, I'm just going to gradually take contracts away, and take contracts away until I am essentially like dead. No, like I'm just going to take contracts away gradually until I figure out what I know I want to do.
So you feel like a good rhythm. Because it
Right.
it was a lot.
But
At
I
one
also...
point you were like, help,
I called you for help because I was like, I am
drowning a little bit.
I am the victim of my own
Circumstance.
right. Like, I hoarded contracts during the pandemic because I was like, well, no one's
Gotta
going...
make that money.
Well, I was also like, this is like, we don't know what's going to happen. This is such an unsure time. And not only that, I was like, well, if people are contacting me, it's not exactly like I'm, flying off to do self-care in Tuscany right now. Like, I'm here, I'm sad. Why don't I just do the work?
Yeah.
So I overloaded, and then I kind of met my breaking point for the second time. And then I kind of decided to take it apart. The good news was that during this time, because I felt so isolated and miserable, like everybody who was in the same, in the same global experience as me, Esther Has a Podcast was developed. And during Esther Has a Podcast, I spoke with some of the most inspiring business leaders, brand founders.
Particularly women in business.
A lot of women, some men, but like, it was just a really nice way to connect with people. People who listen to podcasts that are good assume that because they're good, they're easy. And that's like literally... Like, I was watching these figure skaters during the Olympics, and I was just like, oh, they're just like, yeah, you just like flip in the air. It's like the best people make it look easy.
Takes a lot of work.
But it doesn't just take practice. It also takes so much preparation, so much planning. And again, I'm not the first one to like announce this revelation, but as it relates to me, I think when I was doing Esther Has the Podcast, I don't want to do anything unless I'm able to do it well. Period. The end. And I think that I got to a place where I was like, okay, I got 2 kids, I got a family, I've got all the things, and I can't grow this at the clip that maybe I could have if I were 27 again and starting a business again, much like I did my agency.
Right. But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
So Esther closes the chapter for now on EHAP, her podcast. Yeah. Esther is so cool and so stylish and so fashionable that people all across the city and country are calling her up, begging her to come into their closets and throw out their shitty, ugly green sweaters.
I wish that was as simple as that, because that would be easy. I'd be like, you got a shitty, ugly green sweater? I'm coming.
Burn it. No, Esther is doing the Esther Garnick wardrobe edit.
Okay.
EG shout out.
Can we talk about like weird pivots? Okay. This is how it relates.
Esther came out of the closet.
I did.
And then she went back in.
Went right in. Okay. So this is how it relates to this decision to hire a life coach, which again, in the moment was like, is this weird that I'm doing this? I get this life coach and she tells me, you have to do the uncomfortable thing, which is just stop. Just stop. Stop everything and just like sit in the discomfort of it.
That's hard.
It's impossible.
Yeah. You're like, I didn't do it.
No. Listen, no, sitting in the discomfort of just a pause is counterintuitive for one. For anybody who's ever been like a high achieving or ambitious or just someone that like thrives in the mania of being too busy, it's really hard to just be like, I don't know what I do or who I am. I'm just going to stop everything and I'm going to sit in the discomfort of like, I don't know what's next and I have no plan. And I am consciously not trying to sabotage myself back into a career or into a path that I know in my heart I am done with, not because it burned me or was bad for me or was wrong for me. PR was a beautiful space for me for a long time. I saw a lot of success in that space, but it's just not for me anymore. And if I know that, why do I keep coming back to it just out of like fear? So sitting in that discomfort was really, really weird and hard. And can I tell like an honest story? Because the vodka has hit and I'm like, ready.
Go.
Okay. So true story. I'm having this moment where I had untethered or I'd finished my last contract. And I was like, I'm not going to return. I'm going to not pursue PR anymore. Anyway. And I am in the laundry room of my house, which it dawns on me like some people don't have a laundry room in their house. So just as even I say that, I'm like, you fucking loser. Like you have a laundry room. And I'm in the laundry room of my house feeling the biggest fucking loser on planet Earth. And I'm like folding, my son's like Superman underpants. And I'm like, I used to be someone like, what is happening to my life? My life coach is fired. Like, this is the worst. I should have said yes to everything. I should have re-signed everything. Anyway, I swear to God, this is the exact moment. My phone rings and I pick up because the person calling is my son's grade 2 teacher, but it's summer. And I'm like, this is weird. Yeah, what's happening? And I pick up the phone and on the other end of this phone, she says to me, if this is too weird, like just hang up and we can forget it. And immediately I'm like, okay, now I'm really interested because where is this going?
She's like, I have a crush on you.
No, I'm legit. I'm like, do you want to run away together? Like she was really good to my son. And I'm like, honestly, like I'm down for anybody that's good to I'm down for anybody that's good to my kids. So I take this phone call and she says to me, I had hired this person to come into my house and help me assemble some outfits and help me kind of make sense of my style. I didn't like the experience. Is this something I could hire you for? And I was just like, this is the weirdest phone call I've ever received. So automatically, yes. Like automatically,
You're like,
yes.
Drop the underpants.
I'm like,
I'm at your house.
Literally, they dropped
outside.
the Superman underpants, put my Superwoman cape on, and I'm like, but at the time, I was like, first of all, that would be a joy. That would be a joy for me.
You're like, I'll pay you.
Yeah, I'll pay you. I'll pay you to come into your home and be in your life and your space.
Romantically, no.
It's like legit. It felt like a romantic proposition.
And Esther's with her second
no, but like it felt very like this sounds
intimate.
like a great time. So like, why would you even pay me for this? But I'll be there. And of course, at the time I showed up and I thought I would be there for an hour, just being like, that t-shirt, this pair of pants, tell me about your summer.
You need a good blazer.
It was like an intensive 7-hour, like I almost needed like a Karate Kid. You're too young to like I just needed like something to contain the sweat on my brow. I'm like, okay, hiya, like this shirt, this man, that's wrong, this fit's wrong, that is a bad purchase. We're consigning that. You shouldn't have that. You shouldn't own that. It's wrong for you. It's unflattering. Over to the consignment store, out to the donation bin. Like it was a very
high intensity,
fully, but it unlocked something that just like brought me so much happiness because I think it's weird to say out loud, but I think that it's not about helping people with their style, which is
amazing.
Again, like it's an accidental thing. And I do think that I do see the weird through line between being the behind the scenes person to help a brand shine and being a behind the scenes person to help a person present themselves with the utmost confidence.
It's like an incredible through
line.
Like
it took me a minute to understand.
The personal brand and brand communications are inherently linked. And you have the expertise and you have the fashion element.
Well, it's a weird one.
What I will say, because now I have basically held Esther hostage on my podcast.
No.
At the one
I'm like, I'm not even sure. Have we been here for 3 hours?
E.G. We, Esther Garnick Wardrobe Edit, is amazing. And she's available to come into your closets and throw out your 12-year-old ugly floral dresses that don't fit anymore.
Or maybe it's just like, we can do something else with that.
Let's do some rapid fire.
Oh, are we there yet? Yeah. Rapid fire.
What's your coffee order?
Black coffee.
Skinny.
Yeah.
Skinny.
No, not skinny, just efficient.
What is your style inspo? Who is your style inspo?
I don't have one at the moment. I feel like my style inspos are like a weird collage of all the women I see that look cool around me. But like that woman that woman isn't selling me shit on the internet.
Yeah, I like that. So it's not like, oh, check my LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah, like that, whoever my style inspo is, does not exist in an Instagram square. It's like
around you in real life.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a moving interpretation of, oh, that's cool. And that woman looks confident. And that woman seems to have like her pants fit right.
Who's your like celebrity crush?
Like, does this have to be like my celebrity crush that I'm attracted to?
Anything.
I had a weird fucking Harrison Ford moment. Okay. And I'm like, why would I go there?
Okay. Harrison Ford. Well, if you're still alive.
I do like them all.
Harrison, can you hear us?
He's just cool. He's just a cool man.
I love that. What does the next chapter of Esther Garnick look like?
I don't know. And that's the mess of it all. No, but like that's the mess of it all. It's like, I don't know.
We're bringing mess back.
I like the idea of being like, mess is okay, because mess doesn't mean like destitute. Mess doesn't mean like
failure.
Mess just means it for me anyway. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So what I'm going to try to do, which again is like a new practice, is just kind of go with what's working. And I mean, I was going to say go with the flow a little bit more, but like just ride the wave I'm on and really just enjoy working with women in any way that I can hype them up and support them to the point where they feel they're most confident. And that doesn't mess up my
flow
time with my family. Like it's a really nice balance that I've struck that, again, is always on the verge of like, because I do have a weird addictive personality where I'm like, if I start with a manageable schedule, I immediately think, oh, I need to load on and load on and load on and load on. And so I have to
just sit with it, be okay with it.
Yeah, I have to practice. I have to practice just like
Sitting in that acceptance.
Or just like sitting in whatever will be, will be.
I love that. Esther, what does being in good company mean to you?
I think what I would define as being in good company is when you aren't fighting against the grain, when you are literally in perfect harmony with the people that you are working with the goal that you are working towards, with whatever the objective is that is obvious to everybody involved, and everyone is just going in the same direction. That is the perfect description to me of being in good company.
I love that. Esther Garnick, thank you for coming on In Good Company. Thank you to our sponsors, Apple, Amazon, Shopify, Samsung.
Thank you, Alex Earl, for my lifestyle.
Okay. Thank you, One Restaurant.
Thank you,
We love you. We'll
do.
never stop loving you.